Okay, I think we'll go ahead and get started this morning. What a beautiful fall morning in Iowa. It doesn't get much better than this. This morning, we are announcing the details of a couple of very exciting events that are coming up in December. As most of you know, Governor Branstad will soon become the longest serving governor in America history, surpassing Governor George Clinton of New York. Governor George Clinton, an American soldier and statesman who was considered to be one of the founding fathers of the United States, served for 21 years. On December 14th, 2015, Governor Branstad will be serving in his 7,640th day of service to Iowans. To commemorate this service to the state, we are announcing a couple of events that we will be holding on December 14th. First of all, there will be a free open reception from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. here at the Capitol in the governor's formal office upstairs. We are encouraging, of course, members of the public to, as well as all interested school classes, to line up your tours, not only of our beautiful Capitol that day, but then we want you to also be sure and stop by the governor's formal office to meet with the governor and to have your picture taken with the longest serving governor in the nation. You can arrange your tours by calling 515-281-5591 and find more information by visiting the legislature's website at www.legis.iowa.gov. Following the opening reception at the Capitol, there will be a dinner at the Iowa State Fairgrounds at the Knapp Animal Learning Center. The doors are going to open at 6 p.m. and the program will then begin at 7 p.m. This is a bipartisan event that will feature a conversation with Governor Branstad looking back at his service to the state. We have invited Face the Nation host John Dickerson to moderate the conversation, and we're very hopeful that he will be able to join us. Our federal delegation, as well as current and former governors around the United States, have all been invited to attend the event. Tickets for the dinner are on sale now. They're $50 a ticket and will include a copy of the governor's biography, a commemorative bookmark, and a ticket to the event. So for more information on how to purchase the tickets on the biography or the biography, please visit iowahistoryfund.org or email info@iowahistoryfund.org. So this event will run entirely on private donations and from the sale of the tickets. A fundraising committee has been set up to raise the money, and no state funds again will be contributing to this event. And so now it's my privilege to have Governor Branstad come to the podium and give you a few more details about the event and the book.
Lieutenant Governor Reynolds, thank you very much. Well, first of all, I'm very humbled to have this honor, and I think it's kind of interesting timing that the Kansas City Royals won the World Series over the New York Mets last night in the 12th inning, and now we're going to have a buck sergeant from Iowa break the record, the longstanding record of the governor of New York, who was a personal friend of George Washington, who was a general. So we have a buck sergeant breaking the record of a general. I have a strong sense of history, and I've had the opportunity, thanks to Jeff Kaufman, our state chairman, sent me the biography on Governor Clinton. Governor Clinton had a very illustrious career. They used to have 3-year terms in New York. He was elected in 1777 during the Articles of Confederation, so he served partially under the Articles of Confederation, partially under the Constitution, and he also served as vice president under both Jefferson and Madison. His nephew also was governor of New York, DeWitt Clinton, who built the Erie Canal. So a very illustrious person, and there is actually a painting in the Library of Congress that shows George Washington and George Clinton riding their horses back into Midtown Manhattan after the British surrendered at Yorktown, after Cornwallis surrendered at Yorktown. Clinton's, one of his, ingenious activities as general was he put a log chain across the Hudson River with cannons on both sides. So the British occupied New York City, but they didn't get upstate New York. So this entire event and all the proceeds from the book are going to go for a charitable Iowa history project that I'm proud to be establishing. I really feel that I was influenced a great deal by some great teachers I had. Laura Seawick, who taught U.S. history in 8th grade, and Fred Smith, who taught Iowa history. They inspired and encouraged me. I also had many other great teachers, including my football coach, Jim Riddell, who said, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. And this is an opportunity, I guess, for me to share my experience that I had throughout my life, but also an opportunity to share my observation of ingredients of success and the successful people that I've had the opportunity of watching throughout my career. I also want to say this is all about celebrating Iowa history. And one of the individuals that we're inviting is Neil Smith, who has the record for the longest serving congressman in Iowa history. And Neil is in his 90s and he's in very good health. And he and I were involved in helping start the Iowa history, the Iowa State Parks Foundation. You also may know that, of course, Senator Grassley is a longstanding senior senator from Iowa, and Senator Harkin served 30 years, and they're going to be invited along with the other members of our congressional delegation. I talked to former Congressman Jim Leach at the event that was held by the Herbert Hoover Presidential Foundation the other night. He and the other congressmen from Iowa will be invited. Our Attorney General, Tom Miller, is also, I think, the longest serving, presently serving Attorney General in the country. Our State Treasurer, Michael Fitzgerald, also. So Iowa has a history of hardworking, dedicated public servants, and this is an opportunity to celebrate that, but also we hope to raise a significant amount of money, and that money will go to support historical projects around the state of Iowa. Several of which I've already contributed to. You may be aware the Governor Merrill grave site, they're raising money to restore that because it's in bad disrepair at Woodland Cemetery here in Des Moines. I've already contributed to that personally, but I've indicated that certainly is a project, those kind of projects that this fund will help support. So with that, Jeff Boink, I think, is the co-chair of the group that's putting this together. He's here to help maybe handle some of the questions on the details, but we'd open it to questions on this subject.
How does it feel to know that you will be the very longest serving one in the U.S.?
Well, I never imagined this would happen. I got to pinch myself when I even talk about it. But I guess I feel very humbled that the people of Iowa have chosen me, and that I have never lost an election, and I've been selected again and again to be the chief executive of the state. So I take that responsibility seriously. I think you have to earn it every day by being conscientious and working hard, and that's why the Lieutenant Governor and I go to every county, and we continue to work diligently to try to serve the needs of the people of Iowa and give back. And this is a way I can give back and use my personal experience to help provide a private source of funding to help with needed historical projects.
How does Mrs. Branstad feel about that? Longest serving.
She's the longest serving first lady. Well, that's,
Can you do anything to recognize her for that?
well,
Seriously.
that's a good question. That's and she doesn't get the deserved recognition that she doesn't get the recognition that she deserves. I will say though, she does enjoy entertaining, and she had a wonderful time. We had the Scarousel party on Saturday night, and the theme this year for our family was the Griswold Christmas Vacation. So I was Clark Griswold. She was Ellen Griswold, and she really looked the part. The whole family were uh, characters from the Griswold family. Anyway, these are the kind of things that she loves to entertain at Terrace Hill. Events like that. Obviously, we've got the Christmas party and many functions coming up there. We do a lot of charitable events. In fact, we have one tomorrow night, a charitable event for a church group.
Can we do a public records request for photos of you dressed, you and your family dresses, your Griswold family?
Well, you don't need to make a public. It's on Facebook, I believe.
Somewhere,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's on Facebook. It's it's gotten a lot of likes already, but
Not that he's checking.
the picture was taken during the party on the stairs there at Terrace Hill of the whole Griswold family. So Marcus was Uncle Eddie, and that was probably the most hilarious. And actually, I think we won. They have a contest to choose in different categories, and I think we won the funniest. And I give Marcus credit for that. But anyway, it was a lot of fun, and it's just one of the things that I think Chris enjoys doing is hosting and entertaining people. And it's amazing because every time we have an event, we have people that have never been there before. So, and we have a governor's residence that's open 10 months out of the year and 20 hours a day. So, and now they're going to be taking down all of the elaborate decorations for Halloween. And of course, the next big event will be Christmas, and they're going to do Christmas Carol at Terrace Hill again. So, yes.
I think you said before that you don't plan to have like a Branstad library, that's no way, but there is a museum up in
Yeah, there's the,
Northern Iowa.
well, in Forest City, which is the county seat of Winnebago County, where I grew up, they have something they call the Mansion Museum. And I already have after my first stint as governor, after my first 16 years, I donated the foreign gifts to here to Des Moines to Salisbury House. But all the other items, most of the other items, including my political button collection, which is pretty extensive, and a lot of pictures and material, even including the scrapbook on Iowa history that I did in 8th grade, is in that museum in Forest City. The elephant collection is there as well. So there is over 100 elephants that are in that collection. So those elephants and a lot of the other items are in the museum. Yes.
This isn't intended to be kind of a moral question, but have you thought about where what you're getting, to get older and when presidents get older, it's all.
Yep.
People want to know where they're going to be buried. Have you decided where you are going to be buried?
I have. I want to be, and I told my wife this just recently. The Iowa Veterans Cemetery, which is at Van Meter. I really think, I'm a veteran. I'm very proud to have served my country at a time that wasn't popular to serve during the Vietnam era. And I just, and Bob King keeps me pretty well informed about the Veteran Cemetery and what's going on there. And so that's where I'd like to be buried. Yeah. Other questions? Okay. No, we put a very thoughtful plan together in doing this, and the hearing has been completed. I expect within a week or so, we'll have the decision from the administrative law judge. And then there's always a possibility of an appeal, but we expect that, and the Attorney General's office has been, and they feel confident that we're going to be successful in this process, and that the Department of Human Services ac- did all of their things in the appropriate way. Uh, I think you need to realize, and this is true anytime you have an RFP on a major project where there's significant money at stake. Those that are not successful in the bidding process obviously want to exhaust their potential remedies. But I feel confident and the Department of Human Services, the spreadsheet and the criteria and the approach that they use, and I think that they acted in an appropriate way, and we feel confident that just as 25 other states have been able to move forward with this, uh, interestingly enough, three of the four uh, successful bidders here are already providing these services in the state of New York. And that's why I found it kind of interesting that Hillary Clinton would attack what we're doing in Iowa when her state's been doing it for some time, using the same providers that are, or three of the four that are going to be providing in Iowa. So we need to get past the partisan politics and focus on providing the best health care for the people of Iowa. And what we found is without coordinated care, we have one provider that is um, basically subscribing this medicine, another this, and they oftentimes are in conflict with each other. Person ends up in the hospital or emergency room. And we think we can reduce those incidents, provide better care, improve the outcomes. We've dramatically expanded Medicaid and the costs have gone up dramatically, but the healthcare outcomes have not. And that's what our goal is, to improve healthcare outcomes. And we feel that this approach, which has proven to be successful in a number of other states, can work in Iowa as well.
Report the recommendation and makes a decision on that. Usually it's the department head, but since
Right.
Director Palmer is the party in this case.
Well, you have an unusual situation because normally this would have been handled by the Medicaid director. But at the time this process was started, the Medicaid director's position the Medicaid director had resigned and Mickey Steer was later appointed. So Chuck Palmer did oversee the process. And if there is an appeal of the ALJ decision, I think it would be appropriate to avoid any potential um, concerns um, about appearance of impropriety, that somebody else be directed to uh, handle the appeal. We haven't, no, well, first of all, we want to get the ALJ decision and then see if there's an appeal from that. If there is, then we would appoint somebody that would be appropriate to handle it.
Do you believe that January 1 implementation can go on even if there are
Yes.
challenges, or if it would depend if the court issues a stay?
Well, certainly, we've been working closely with the Attorney General's office, and they feel confident that we will be successful and that the appropriate procedures have been used. And we've been working at the federal level also with the CMS from the very beginning to get approval of the waivers, and the waivers are fairly routine because it's been done by 25 other states. So this is not anything new. It's very different than what we went through after the 2013 Iowa Health and Wellness Plan, where we were really plowing new ground, and we were kind of the leader, and a number of other states have now copied us. And that is, interestingly enough, some of the same people that attacked that in 2013 are silent today because it's working so well. We have more people insured than ever before. Hospitals are making more money than they have before. And so the hospitals who bitterly attacked that in 2013 are not saying anything about it because it's reduced their charity care dramatically. And we believe it's improved health. And we've got people taking more ownership of their own health, taking health risk assessments. So what we did in 2013, I think, is a great example of how we can successfully change the way we deliver healthcare in a way that can improve healthcare for people. And we're very hopeful that this will do the same thing, then Medicaid modernization.
What's your assessment of the presidential, Republican presidential race in the state of Iowa now, Iowa caucus, especially since we had this big event over the weekend?
Yeah.
We had many candidates visiting the past few days.
Well, I think the Iowa party is doing a lot better than the national media and the national party. I really, really enjoyed the event. You know, you're competing with college football on a beautiful Saturday, but yet you had a really big crowd there. And the format was really good because people got to interact with the candidates, not only hear them speak, but maybe meet with them personally. And then there were a number of other organizations and groups there as well. So, and I think it was very successful financially for the party. So I want to compliment Jeff Kaufman and the Republican Party of Iowa. They've got the party back on track financially. They're putting together events that really are well thought out and that encourage participation. And I think a lot of Iowa Republicans are still evaluating the candidates to decide who they want to support. But they see a lot of talent. They see a lot of people who they're seriously considering. So I was there for most of it. I did leave in time to watch the Iowa game. We're now 8-0, so that's not too bad. So it was a great weekend for the Midwest. Hawkeyes won.
Cyclones.
The Cyclones beat Texas, shut them out 24-0. And Kansas City Royals came from behind and again in the ninth inning to tie it up. And
You and I won also.
you and I won. Doesn't get any better than that, huh?
Are you a Royals fan?
Yes, I am. Well, I'm a Kansas City Royals fan. I'm also a St. Louis Cardinals fan. So, you know, they're close. And I think the Royals last year, you know, came really close. But boy, they determined. And I guess the thing that is exciting about the Royals is, you know, they are a come from behind team, and they're a team that scraps for everything. They're not afraid to steal bases or what that the way they tied up the game was pretty interesting as well. You know, I'm just glad I'm not the Mets manager.
One of the candidates, Matthias Stoffel, was waiting the morning to a farm south of Newton that the senator Paul said there that no private property owner should have their land taken through eminent domain and transferred to another for-profit company. Are you going to just sit on the sidelines and let the IUB decide if eminent domain is going to be used to allow the pipeline company to take Iowa farmers' land?
Well, as you know, eminent domain is a very controversial subject, and I think it needs to be handled in a very thoughtful way. Many years ago, Iowa legislature delegated the responsibility to make those decisions to the Iowa Utility Board, and they put together a very elaborate process for them to make that decision. And individually, you can have situations where and so I think eminent domain should be used only sparingly, but I think there are times that it may be appropriate. So I don't think we should say a blanket statement that eminent domain should never be used, but I also believe that the law that is in place that gives the utilities board the responsibility to do this is appropriate. And I've heard from some personal friends that are landowners that have strong feelings about this. And I've shared with them that I believe that we should not be involved in making a political decision, but rather let the utilities board make the decision based on the facts and the merits of each proposal.
A little bit from like when the DOT takes land for a highway that benefits everybody. This is taking land for a company that's going to be making a profit by passing a product through Iowa.
Right, but they're not taking the land. They're only using the land to put a pipeline through. And we've had thousands of miles of pipeline put through this state. When I lived in Lake Mills, we had a very close friend who was an engineer that helped when they put a natural gas pipeline through that went to Ventura, Iowa, Jim Snook. And so, uh, and I'm aware that literally we have pipelines, gasoline, natural gas, LP, many different types of pipelines that cross the state of Iowa. This particular pipeline, as you know, is designed to bring Midwestern crude oil from North Dakota across North Dakota, South Dakota, Iowa, and Illinois, eventually to go to a refinery. So I think that the utility board, which oversees these things, is the appropriate place, and the legislature, I think, has concurred with that. I do understand and appreciate there are people that have strong feelings about this, and many people feel that they don't want to see it go through their land, and I understand that. But I also recognize the fact that there are many pipelines underground in our state, and farmers farm over it and have been, and it's worked out for them. So I just think the utility board is the right group to make the decision.
Thank you, Governor.
Thank you.